Crikey, mate!
I stubbed my toe. Fuck.
You stubbed your toe? Oh no!
Hey, no. Oh, no.
Dude, I'm scared to open that closet or the drawers. I'm scared mice are gonna come out.
Damn, we need garbage bags.
We need garbage bags? Should I steal some from work? Should I take some from my work?
Can you?
Yeah?
That'd be helpful.
A couple, probably not a lot, but I could probably take like 5. The hustle don't stop, it keep going.
We only got huge ones.
Can't leave your life if you get bored.
Yeah, we only have fucking...
What's up, y'all? We run up them digits, we run up that money.
Did you dump all that grease down the drain?
Yeah, why?
Holy fuck. Made a big mess and clogged the fucker.
It clogged it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What's up, Vance Ritchie? What's up, Lady D? Haven't seen you in the chat in a while, Vance. What's going on? What's going on? We run up them digits, we run up that money. Let's get it. Okay, this is gonna be a quick live, you guys, because I got a little therapy session I gotta do. Just addressing, a couple people that have been making comments to me, which is fine. I appreciate all feedback, whether negative or positive, but I felt I had to speak on it. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've been making a lot of videos about Suboxone and methadone, my personal experience, what it's done to my health, what it did to my mental health, what it has done to my recovery, okay? And if I look back on it, and here's the disclaimer before the video. I'm not anti-Suboxone. I'm not anti-methadone. I think they have, arguably maybe kept me alive. I don't know. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't get on methadone or Suboxone. What I will tell you is the longest period of sobriety I ever had was when I was off Suboxone and I was off methadone. My health was the best. My mental health was the best. I was the happiest I was in my life. And that's really all the experience I can speak on. Now, the argument that is being told to me is, if you're going to be dead if you're not on Suboxone. That's what people keep saying. You're going to be dead if you're not on Suboxone. Well, how do you know that? You don't really, no one really knows that. And my whole argument is I've overdosed many times on methadone and Suboxone, and my quality of life was terrible. It was impacting my mental health. It eventually made my physical health really poor. And so my thing is, I looked back 6 years of my life of a poor quality life, and this is just from my experience. And my whole thing is like, I want to take a shot at having good quality life. I don't want to be on a narcotic. And I hate to break it to you guys, but everybody talks, and forgive me if I sound angry, if I sound passionate about this, but forgive me for saying this, but everybody always talks about how great Suboxone is, what wonders it does, the lives it saves, and it does, and I'm not going to argue with that, but no one talks about the drawbacks. No one talks about, the mental health, that point when you hit, when you're been on Suboxone for 6 months, and you're not getting that buzz you used to get off of it, because let's be honest, what is Suboxone? Anyone? It's an opiate. What is methadone? An opiate. And in the beginning, every single time, not every single time, but most times when I would get on Suboxone or methadone, you don't get high from it, but you get like a mild opiate buzz in the beginning. But when you've been on it for 4, 5, 6, 7 months plus, that high goes away, and guess what it's replaced with for me? And I'm just speaking for me personally. I get to this point where there becomes an anhedonia. I don't get pleasure in doing anything in life. And life becomes unenjoyable. I don't like music. I don't like making videos. Okay. And I don't like making videos. I don't like music. I don't enjoy life. So do you guys kind of see the craziness here? Because if you if you don't enjoy your life and you're sober,
Which one do you think looks better?
ooh, I don't know. Let's ask YouTube. Hey YouTube, which one do you think looks better? Medical marijuana friendly treatment, by the way.
Bright green?
Bright
Purple.
green or purple? I think the bright green. Well, I don't know, bro. Probably the purple. Or no, the light green looks like it has more crystals, more trichomes. Anywho's.
I'll get you
Yeah, Tony, let's not go with the whole weight thing. I'm not here to attack Nicole. I'm not here to criticize her. I'm not here to make fun of her, put her down, any of that shit. We don't rock like that over here. But I'm going based off what she said. She basically said, you know, I'm in no position to speak on these kind of things. Is basically what she said in a nutshell. She said, yeah, yeah, haha, very funny. Righteous monkey, good to see you, buddy. Love you, care for you, love you guys. But she basically said, I'm in no position to speak on this. I don't, you know, I don't know if she was insinuating that because I only have X amount of time clean that I can't speak on this, et cetera, et cetera. Well, to counter that point, I would like to say that there's people that have 6 months clean that have more insight, substance. They have more insight and substance to add to the conversation of recovery than one-dimensional thinker that has 20 years clean. So I think that whole point of, oh, you only have this amount of time clean, you can't speak on that. I think that's what she meant. I don't know if she meant that. It's kind of what she insinuated though. So, you know what I mean? I highly disagree with that. And I highly disagree with this notion that we only need to talk about how great Suboxone is and how great methadone is, because the fact is, you guys, I've had this YouTube for a while. I've talked to a lot of addicts. I've been to a lot of meetings. I talk to people all the time about this type of shit. And I'm not the only one who thinks this, okay? Like, there is a dilemma of people who are on maintenance drugs. And yes, in the beginning, when you're coming through the withdrawals, it serves a purpose. It helps you get off the drug. But when you stay on this drug for extended periods of time, it is straining your opiate receptors, it's straining your brain, and a lot of people feel really crappy after being on it for a while, and their quality of life is impacted, and it's not good. So let's not just pretend. And I stayed on these drugs for many years because everyone would tell me, oh, you need to do this. It's going to save your life. It's going to help you. And I bought into that because that is the narrative that everyone's pushing nowadays. And I'm not saying these drugs are bad. And I'm not saying everyone goes through the experience I'm going through. That's not what I'm saying. And there were times when I was on methadone. There were times when I was on Suboxone where I felt great. But it only lasts for about 4 or 5, maybe 6 months at the most. And then it gets to a point where I get anhedonia. I get depressed. I feel like shit. And it makes me want to get high. And I've been in this circle of methadone, dope, Suboxone, methadone, dope, Suboxone, and it's just gone in a full circle. The longest clean time I had was when I lived in Florida. I was not on anything. I wasn't on gabapentin. I wasn't on Suboxone. I wasn't on methadone. I was on nothing. Zero. And I'll tell you this. My quality of life was the best it had ever been. Yeah, it took a while. It took a lot of work to get over that like 6 month withdrawal of getting off the subs, getting off the methadone, getting off the dope. But you know what? It gave me something to fight for. I felt life. I went through. I didn't take the easier, softer way. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get off drugs. I'm gonna do this. And it gave me something to fight for. It gave me something, a goal. It wasn't easy, but looking back on it, that hard struggle in the beginning built me into a stronger person. And I didn't just feel better, you know, by putting something under my tongue or taking a drink of methadone. I felt like shit for the first 6 months. I'm not going to say I didn't, but I felt better than I felt 2 weeks ago on Suboxone. So I'd rather be sick and feel my emotions and feel like a human being than just be a vegetable on Suboxone. That's all I'm saying, you guys. And I'm not saying everybody goes through my experience. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I put things out there Because guess what? Everybody's experience is different. If you relate to this and you rock with what I'm saying, then fuck, tune in. If you don't and you find it interesting, tune in as well. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You don't even have to experience the stuff I'm talking about to find it interesting what I'm saying. It's just one of many different discussions in the addiction realm. It's just one of many, many different things, okay? And it's just a subject that, it's another subject, and we can agree to disagree. That's fine too. Like, we don't have to agree with everything. Everybody's different. Right, and that's what I'm saying. And like, I just see, it just cracks me up. And I'm not just talking about Nicole. I put Nicole in the title, more of a clickbaity kind of a thing, so we can, whatever. That's just the reality of YouTube. But I don't get people who they see another person's opinion that doesn't like align with their own, and they just don't see. They're like, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I just don't rock with that. I don't agree with that. I try to see every single opinion, and I've said this many times. I know a lot of people do really well on Suboxone and Methadone. I'm just making this video because at the end of the day, I can only truly and genuinely express my experience. Because I can talk about your experience and your brother's experience and whoever's experience, but I'm not going to really be able to feel it. I'm not going to really be able to like tell you this is what it is. When it's something that I experience, I can tell you for a fact, this is what I went through. If you can relate with it, let's have a conversation with it. If you can't, let's have a conversation about it. I like getting in debates like this. I like when people challenge, and thank you, Nicole, for bringing this up. I'm not mad at Nicole at all. I like when people challenge because it sparks conversations like this. And that's why we should all live our own truth and speak our own opinion, because it starts good conversations, and it's just being real. It's, yeah, like Coach Greg. Holly said, I can't deal with know-it-alls in recovery. I would do a live with her so you can both express your view. I know Nicole meant no harm. No, I don't think she did. It just, one of her comments did kind of, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie. One of her comments did kind of like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but maybe she didn't mean anything by it. She probably didn't. It did seem a little snarky, but that's whatever. We all get a little snarky from time to time. So Nicole, if you're watching this, I'm still rocking with you. I just respectfully disagree with her opinion. That's all I'm going to say. I do respectfully disagree with her opinion, but my opinion, I know my opinion isn't the end all be all. I mean, we all think we're right all the time, to an extent, but okay, now let's see. Last generation. I am off methadone using kratom 2 grams several times a day. 10 months. Life is beautiful. Brittany said, what happened after your sober time in Florida? So, when I relapsed in Florida, I went through a really bad breakup. And it all started, and I know this is going to be counterintuitive to what I said before. I had a breakup with a girl in Florida, and my other friend Susie, shout out Susie if you're watching, she invited me to a kratom bar. And I know that I said I took kratom to get off Suboxone, but it's a different story when you have been off opiates for 2 years and you take kratom. I went to a kratom bar. Kratom bar, they give you a little pineapple dish, and they put kratom and kava in a bowl, and I drank 3 of them. And when you haven't taken an opiate in 2 years and you drink a thing of kratom, like, it fucks you up. Like, it floored me. And I woke up the next morning and I felt withdrawal, depression, and stuff like that. I didn't use right away, but it like triggered me. And I thought, my first thought was, I want to do dope. And eventually I got into drinking, got into drinking, I got into fentanyl and crack. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Well, it kind of is here and there, but I know what happens over here. I've been here since before his first Jessica Kent video. That's right, Amanda Boyens, my girl. Hey, who hit me with that little 4.99? Hey, shout out Holly for that 4.99. Holly says, I haven't heard of a kratom bar. Sounds nice. Just think, dog, what would Gunner do? Shout out Gunner's Collective. My California Prison Youth Authority vato. Girl died down here in Florida going to one. She died going to a kava bar? Kratom doesn't affect me at all. Yeah, it doesn't really do much for me. Like, I'm down. I was taking like 30 grams a day when I first got off Suboxone. Now I'm down to like 10 to 15 grams per day. I'm trying to get down to like 1 to 2 grams per day, and then I'm just done. So, if you get sober in Florida, throw yourself to the Gators. Yeah. And then people ask, like, so what happened but my point is, you guys, when I was off Suboxone and methadone, it was hard as hell in the beginning. It was hard. But it was like, once I got off all the drugs and my mind was clear, like, I don't know what it is on Suboxone and methadone, but it's like, it's almost like I don't have a conscience on it. Like, I do, but I don't. Like, it's like my brain, I don't know what it is, but I don't think, everybody's different. And like I said, you guys take this with a grain of salt. And people should know this. I shouldn't have to put these disclaimers out here, but I do anyways. And people still don't get the point. But my thing is, I don't think my brain differentiates whether I'm on Suboxone, methadone, heroin, fentanyl, oxys, perks. I don't think it knows the difference. Obviously, it's much better if I'm on Suboxone or methadone than fentanyl, for sure, 100%. I will 100% agree with that. But I think, like, on a molecular level, like, I don't think my brain really knows the difference because, like, I still have a lot of the problems I have when I'm on drugs. Like, it's just as far as my thinking, my actions, the things I do, is when I'm on dope. And it like, it always has me craving, like, when I'm on Suboxone and methadone, I'm constantly, like, it's constantly a fight for me not to get high. When I was sober for 2 years in Florida, and other times I'd been sober, no Suboxone, no methadone, it's not a daily fight. It's not a daily fight. It was more emotional relapses. Joe Smith said, wouldn't it just be better to be on pure? I mean, arguably, I think it would probably be more effective, but there's going to be a lot of, the thing is I realize when I put things out on YouTube, people are so set in their own way of thinking and they can't, like, think of another possibility that, like, people say, oh, Luke said heroin was better than Suboxone. No, I didn't say that. But there are heroin clinics in Toronto, Sweden. They give you like 3 doses of diacetylmorphine every day, and they're extremely successful. And in my opinion, honestly, I think an opiate is an opiate, really. I really think, I mean, except fentanyl. Fentanyl is extremely dangerous, so let's scratch fentanyl out of there. But, like, I'm saying, as far as, like, heroin, methadone, Suboxone, oxycodone, I mean, heroin, you guys, is diacetylmorphine. It's literally just like a slightly different version of morphine. It just is a more bioavailable version of morphine. But an opiate is an opiate. The reason why there's methadone clinics and stuff like that, well, methadone clinics were created in, I believe, the 1960s or 70s, I think 70s. And they were made because there was so much crime being committed by heroin addicts in the 70s. Like, it was atrocious. Like, people's houses were getting broken into, cars, and it was costing the government a lot of money. So they said, okay, we're going to create methadone to stabilize people and, to stop all this crime and, chaos in the city and stuff like that. But why do you guys think the major reason why are people's lives so chaotic on heroin? Supply and demand. It's illegal. It's an illegal substance. So the only reason the illegal substance lands here is, 1, there's a demand for it, and 2, there's people to make money off of it. So when you're dealing with a situation where it's illegal and people are making money off of it, it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get it. And people who have jobs who need heroin or opiates every day, they're going to have to steal to get it. Some days they're not going to have it. They're not going to make it to work. And, you know, whatever the case may be. But let's say you legally get diacetylmorphine from a clinic. You get it every day. It's consistent. You're able to sustain a job. You know, I never had a problem going to work when I had heroin. It was when I didn't have heroin. Same with methadone. If you didn't take your methadone for 3 days, you couldn't get to work. Same as if you didn't have your heroin for 3 days, you couldn't get to work. So it's really the same thing. We're rubbing pennies together when we're talking about this stuff, you guys. An opiate is an opiate. Like, your brain, like, yeah, there are slight differences. Yeah, you know, this, that, and the third. But really, one is not any better than the other. And arguably, I would dare to challenge people to say that I honestly think methadone and Suboxone are worse for your body than actual heroin, diacetylmorphine. I truly believe that. And I'm going to get a lot of haters. People are going to be like, oh, you're radical, you're crazy. I really don't think that's that far off. And if you can't see that, or you can't even maybe think of that as a possibility, you are a very one-dimensional, small thinker. Like, and I'm not, and that was kind of an insult, but that's just how I feel. That's just my take on the whole thing. And we got to stop, you know, having these opinions and just sticking to them till we fucking go to our grave, you guys, because things change, people change. You know, 20 years ago, people were saying Suboxone was, you know, this horrible thing. Like, I remember trying to get on Suboxone. It was like damn near impossible. Like, they wanted to make sure you were an actual full-blown addict to get on Suboxone. They didn't just hand it out like they do now. You know, so like 20 years from now, maybe heroin or diacetylmorphine treatment will be the new norm. And those people will be looking at the Suboxone people like they're fucking idiots. So it's like, you know, you can't really just say like, oh, your opinion's wrong, because it's like the sentiment is always changing anyways, just like the whole thing with medical marijuana. When I was in high school, if like we had to put Visine in our eyes, we hid it, and we felt like criminals because we smoked and sold weed. Like, it was like weed was like a big time drug when I was in high school. It wasn't like this like thing that is no big deal like it is today. Like, it was a big deal. Like, we really like were worried about getting pulled over with weed. So my point is like, you guys, things are always changing. So yeah, I think she said heroin's bad because what it's cut with. Yeah, no, I agree, Amanda, and that just furthers my point, is that the only reason heroin is bad is because it is illegal. That is it. The same thing with weed. All the negative shit that happened with weed was why? Because it was illegal. You seeing a pattern here? And that can go with anything. Okay, literally, like, it could literally go with anything. I've only overdosed off heroin alone one time in 2012, and it was when I got out of jail. And yeah, and I got out of jail and did a bunch. I did way too much. I irresponsibly did it. It was 100% my fault completely. Only one time I've overdosed off just heroin. Every other time I overdosed on heroin, it was because benzos were in my system. Nothing should linger in a human body that long after quitting it. It's not natural. No, pure heroin is not bad at all. It's much healthier than... It is much healthier than Suboxone and methadone. I 100% promise you. Suboxone and methadone are full synthetic opiates. They literally are lipophilic. They store in your fat cells. They store in your bone marrow. Okay? Diacetylmorphine, what is that? Heroin. Diacetylmorphine is a semi-synthetic opioid. It comes from the poppy plant. Methadone and Suboxone don't come from the poppy plant. Oxycodone, oxycodone, I think, has some poppy derivatives. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. So I'll say this. I'm not really trying to like war story too much here, but I will say there is heroin in Minneapolis. There is still black tar heroin, but it's like a blend of black tar heroin and a small amount of fentanyl. So there you can get pretty close to real heroin in Minneapolis, but it still has a little bit of fentanyl in it that I've seen. But I haven't really been doing dope hardly at all for the past 3 years. I've had like 4 relapses in the last 2 years, and yeah. So anyways, not trying to, yeah, England, real heroin. There is no fentanyl in England really, from what I've heard. But right, that's what I'm saying. Last generation is give people options. Morphine, Dilaudid, Cadian, which is a slow release morphine, a 24-hour slow release morphine, because methadone and Suboxone are not okay, this is my opinion. I'll just say that, because there's no real way to like scale this or prove what I'm saying. I'm just like I said, once we're going back to the beginning, this is based on my personal experience, and that's all I can really passionately and genuinely speak on, because that's what I've gone through. And I can just tell you from someone who's been on heroin, fentanyl, methadone, and Suboxone, let's go down the list. And this is, again, personal experience. What made my body feel the worst? Not even a fucking close call. Suboxone made my body feel the worst, the most unhealthy by far. Like, not even like, it's not even a fucking competition. Like, it made me feel extremely depressed, makes my sleep apnea worse. I get bags under my eyes. Like, not even a fucking competition. Then I'd say number 2, methadone probably made me feel the second worst. Number 3, fentanyl. And number 4, heroin. I honestly think heroin, my body felt fine on it. Like, compared to methadone and Suboxone. But
How's your... Oh my God. Well, that looks like a really good therapy session. They don't need to really piss me off. What? What do you say? I don't know. Maybe mad. Maybe uncomfortable. Whatever.
Brittany said, are you saying you would prefer to use H daily or use nothing for maintenance? Well, I don't know. That's a complicating question, Brittany. Well, what I'm trying to say is, I really think the only reason people get to that point of desperation with heroin use, like I said, he said, well, of course you felt fine. You were high. Touche. I'm just spitballing you guys in a sense here, too. You guys feel what I'm saying? I'm spitballing. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah, I can check it right now.
I think the main issues that derive from opioid addiction come from the financial aspects, or just the withdrawal of not being able to get it. Because, like I said earlier, every time I had heroin, I've loved working. I showed up to work fucking 30 minutes early. I might have been in the parking lot, trying to hit a vein, but I'm trying to make a joke, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Elliot says, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably do H every day if it was still around. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll say this though. I still don't think you're gonna get the best quality of life on any opiate, whether it be H, Suboxone, fentanyl, whatever. I don't think you're gonna have the best quality of life on any of them, personally. No, it's there's certain parts of the country where it still exists. A little bit in Minnesota, Chicago, because there's a big cartel presence in Chicago, California. Places like California, probably Arizona, maybe Texas, Minnesota, Chicago. I think places like that. DJ Charms, Canada. You guys have real heroin in Canada? Somehow I highly doubt that. I heard that there isn't much. But anyways, I don't live in Canada, so I can't really speak on that. Oh, hey, Dan, right, though? Missed the real thing. Yeah, and the fentanyl sucks. And the fentanyl is just a product of the war on drugs. And that's why we should make sure it's legalized heroin. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not really kidding. I do kind of believe that. But no, and like I said, I don't think life on any opiate is good.
I'm not.
I really don't. I don't think life on any opiate's good. Whether it's heroin, methadone, Suboxone. I don't think any of it's good, but I honestly think Suboxone, for me, and everybody's different, Suboxone made me feel the worst. Yeah, same here, fentanyl. I got his number in my phone. Isn't that crazy how you remember those numbers, though? Anyways, I'm not trying to glorify war stories, but I just wanted to hit that little point across y'all's head. Thanks for the 499. Thanks for Fentanyl Anonymous, DJ Charmstrong, Elliot, Ezlebek Hikalamatikafetev. Sorry, I botched that, and I wasn't trying to be facetious, but I gotta get going, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining. We're back. Getting a new phone this week, so new videos are gonna drop. Let's go. Let's get it. We getting the bag, we getting the money. We getting the bag, we getting the money. The hustle don't stop, it keep going. What's gonna happen when you dead and gone? The hustle don't stop, it keep going. Yeah, hey, I would love to debate Nicole on this. I love to debate. I'm a debater. I'm a master debater, not a masturbator. Hey, what's up, Sharon V in the chat? Spilling the tea with Sharon V. Hey, anyways, y'all, be safe, be safe, be smart, get to that bag and get to that money. Allie said you're a junkie. Hell yeah. All right, and with that, I'm out. Peace.